Hey everyone, I'm back. All right, let's get into some NBA. The New York Knicks obviously are not having a rousing season, you know, going to get all these wins, to being competitive, going for the playoffs. Obviously, you know what their season's about. They're not saying they're tanking, but they obviously did say that they are not trying, that they're not a playoff team. And they let everyone know that. And they were very clear about those things. But it was good to see that they got a win the other day against the Spurs. That was exciting to see. And hopefully that's things to come next season where there'll be a lot more success for the Knicks. Whether I hope, for Knicks fans' sake, that it happens with whether it's Kevin Durant, whether it's Kyrie Irving, whether it's both of them, whether it's Anthony Davis. Hopefully, they get someone in free agency. Hopefully, Zion Williamson goes to the Knicks with the first pick because that would be nice for Knicks fans to see. But you never know on that because that's just one of those things, especially with the percentage and lottery picks and all that. It would be interesting. But it was a nice glimpse into their possible future beating the Spurs, and hopefully that's something you see going forward next season. But another interesting story in the NBA is the Los Angeles Lakers, because the Los Angeles Lakers seemed like a team bound for the playoffs with at least a guaranteed 8 to 6 seed definite playoff shot. But now it's almost getting to the point where you're seriously considering, if you're a Lakers fan or a huge LeBron James fan or an NBA fan in general, that is it are they even going to make it to the playoffs? And I think there's been a combination of things. One, LeBron James has never really been injured to the extent where he was out for 18 games in a row. That is going to hinder you. Although in that time period that he was out, the Lakers weren't horrible. Wasn't like they were under 500 so badly. They were, I think, either hovering around 500 or just above 500. But still, think about that. LeBron James there probably would have been like a 700, maybe 800, definitely above 500, win total. And that could have really helped them out. And then it didn't help that the Anthony Davis thing happened where he said he is, you know, telling basically everyone that he's not going to resign with his team, the Pelicans, that he wants to go to a different team because if you don't trade me, you're not going to get anything of value for me. And his agent is Rich Paul, and because his agent is Rich Paul, that's very good friends with LeBron, and it looked like he was angling to go to the Lakers. No such luck for the Lakers because the Pelicans didn't really play ball, which is their right. But but they did leak out that the Pelicans, what they wanted from the Lakers, and the Lakers seemed to agree on that. That's what the Lakers wanted to give them, but the Pelicans really weren't interested in that, and that caused some issues because now players knew for certain they were on that list of players that would have been traded to the Pelicans if the Pelicans chose to, make that contract, make that agreement. And that causes issue because now I'm sure players who are there are, even if you understand it's a business, you're understandably upset. And now you're going to go back to the team, stay there knowing that you had honestly, if it would have went through, you would have been gone. And yeah, it helped that it looked like it would have helped that, the All-Star break was coming and all those different things. That was really good to see, because players take breaks, players are with their family, they have a reprieve, they have some enjoyment, some just relaxation time. And you would think, hopefully, coming in after the All Star break, things will get better. You start getting wins, but it seems to not translate that way. And it's not helping the Los Angeles Lakers that LeBron James, he is a great player, phenomenal player, one of the best players in the NBA history. Some people say he's better than Jordan. Some people say he's not better than Jordan, but he's the second best behind Jordan. He is phenomenal. But I think LeBron James, unfortunately, has made this a weird situation with the things he said, whether it's telling guys they got to get, basically get their act together, to telling, and this is all publicly. And I understand there's a time period where you do take this to the media, but I don't think it should have happened that way. Maybe you tell your players privately. Maybe you just say, listen, we all got to work together and that including him, because these are young guys. And some of them are like Kuzma, I think is going to be a real star. Brandon Ingram could be a real star, but the problem with Brandon is he plays the same kind of position as LeBron James, and I know NBA is transitioning to more uh, positionless game, but still, it's harder for him to get those kind of minutes and things like that. But when you have young guys, you can't keep riding them so much where everything seems like every little thing they're doing is wrong. Whether it's LeBron James says, "Oh, they got to tighten it up," to now whether it's saying that, you know, if you don't want to be here, then we don't want you here. Those kind of things. And I think he's just sending too many mixed messages, and players are not obviously really listening to that. One of the things that we think they're not listening because yeah, you're LeBron James. You're great. You're phenomenal, but you're not great with them. It's not like you're in Cleveland where you've shown them success. You've shown them that you can win a championship. You're coming to a different franchise, a different to the West, to the Lakers, who has a great history of winning. And it's not like you're going to a team where they've never won before. The Lakers have the second most championships in the NBA to the Boston Celtics. So it's just not going to work that way, I think. And then it's unfortunate you have a head coach who I think it could be a pretty good head coach in this league, and Luke Walton, who was a player with the Los Angeles Lakers, who won 2 championships back in 2010, 2009 seasons. And I think, and I'm not saying he's a great player. He wasn't like a phenomenal player, but he was a guy who played in this league and won 2 championships and should be respected enough. And you have someone who's LeBron James who's way better than him, and he dictates coaches. And I think Luke Walton, unfortunately, might be a lame duck coach if he doesn't make it to at least the playoffs. And who knows, even if he made it to the playoffs, he could still be gone. Look what happened to the coach for the Cavaliers in their first season with Blatt. He took him to the NBA Finals and wasn't asked back. So I think that's an issue. There's just so many things going on in Los Angeles. And I think if LeBron James, as great as he is, he can't do it one guy. So I think he's just got to send a different kind of message. Like, there's some unity in it. Yeah, I'm a great player, but I messed up too, kind of thing. And just go on from there. I do think, obviously, winning will resolve this all. But it's hard to when they keep losing and you're wondering, is this really happening? And who knows? I know everyone thought that LeBron James may not make the NBA Finals, obviously, because he had Golden State Warriors. He had the Rockets in his path, but now he may not even make the playoffs. And it's just unfortunately crazy for Lakers fans, crazy for NBA fans in general. It's just confusing. And I think this could be I mean obviously LeBron James has more years with the Lakers, but you're now sure a little bit on your radar thinking, could this be some variation of a Dwight Howard incident? Or maybe even in Kevin Nash, where Kevin Nash was a really great player for the Suns, point guard, came to the Lakers and it was just broke down. I don't think LeBron James, I don't think it's a breakdown of injuries, but it could be like a Dwight Howard situation. Now, LeBron James is a totally different player than Dwight Howard and way better. But, sometimes when things don't go off a hitch on the first try, sometimes things just snowball and go downhill and get worse and worse. And by the end of the season, it could really be something where, oh my God, is something going to happen? Is this not going to go well? I don't think it's there yet, but it's in the back of your mind thinking about it, I'm sure. And so I just don't, for the Lakers, what does this mean? I will say this, they really have to focus, and they're going to have to get wins on really not great teams and get wins on mediocre teams, and obviously try to get wins on the great teams who are going to make the playoffs. Because you have to, in some way, you have to at least make the playoffs, because if you don't, I don't know. The Lakers have had a history like the Knicks of recently not getting free agents. And as much as LeBron James is a great guy and a phenomenal player, he is some of a deterrent because he's so great. It's almost like, why should I play for you? You're going to just nitpick everything I do. So I think that is an issue. If they win, they make it to playoffs, they make it to the conference finals, or maybe even the NBA finals, then this is all resolved. But if not, this is a serious issue for Lakers fans and Los Angeles, and for the free agency in general for LeBron James, and LeBron James in somewhat his history. LeBron James will be no doubt Hall of Famer, will be a great player, will be had championship rings with multiple teams, He did it in Cleveland, where Cleveland hasn't won in a very long time in basketball and in football and all of it, and he did it there, and that's his hometown. But there's going to be a darker side of this where he loses, unfortunately, a lot, especially in the finals, doesn't make playoffs, things like that. And unfortunately, yeah, it's going to happen, but you don't want it to be talked about, that's going to happen, but you want that to be towards the end of where they talk all great about you and all the accomplishments you do. And at the end, it's like, oh, unfortunately, there were some miscues and things, but you don't want it to be centerpiece. And that's where it could possibly be where they talk about, yeah, he's great, but all these downhill things that have happened to him. So I just wonder what's going to happen there. It's just interesting to see how that will play out. And now you guys start thinking about the playoffs more and more, where the Lakers are going to go, where other teams are going to go, where the Rockets are going to go. What's going on with the Rockets? Harden just lost his 30-game, win streak and all that. Not 30 games, but 30-point win streak, I should say. And where's that going to go? What's going to happen with the Rockets? Because Harden doing all those things, getting more, 30 points every game, was more out of necessity, and those things can't happen because you have Chris Paul and these other kind of players that they got to get their minutes and they got to do what they got to do, because in the playoffs it's a team sport. Look what happened to LeBron James in Miami Heat. LeBron James was going to lose to the Spurs, and what happened? Ray Allen hit that three and changed the momentum, and they won that game and ultimately won the series because of that possibility. So in the NBA, you can't be a Harden where you score 30 points, but everyone else scores like 10 to 5 to 10. It's just not good. So there's that. What's going on in the playoffs, possibly that. What's going on with the Lakers? Just all these different kind of things. It's kind of crazy to think about. Obviously, you're excited for the NBA. What's going on in the tail end? What's going to happen? All these different things. You also have somewhat storylines of retirement. With Dwayne Wade and Dirk Nowitzki, all these kind of guys who played in the league so long, they're going to be gone. That's interesting to see. And, Dwayne Wade might be the third best shooting guard behind Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Well, I think he is. That's great to see. And I would love to see, as a sports fan, NBA, for him to get one more chance in the playoffs and take the Heat. And he has a good chance now that LeBron James is not in the East and other teams are not doing that great. I think he has a chance. It would be great to see him at least get a chance to make it past the first round or at least into the playoffs. That'd be a great storyline. And the same thing with Dirk and the Mavericks, especially with you have an heir apparent there with Doncic, and to see how that goes. So those are kind of storylines that are going on in the NBA that I think were great to talk about and just interesting. When I come back, I'll be talking about a little bit of some NFL discussions. All right.